You feel it before you see it. That electric crack in the air over Detroit, the kind that makes your skin crawl and your chest pound like it owns the beat of Motor City. It's that uneasy, restless pulse running through every Friday night. Under those brutal floodlights, that cold wind biting through your jacket as you edge your way closer to Ford Field. This city, scarred by heartbreak and battle, holds its breath because something's stirring in the steel and concrete. Something that doesn't just whisper hope, it screams promise, raw and untamed, ready to blow the roof off the house. If you've worn the Honolulu blue through decades of near misses and Sunday sorrow, drop a roar in the comments right now. Make your presence felt. Because what's coming, what's being forged behind those closed doors, is more than a practice change or a new play call. It's the spark of a Detroit renaissance. You know the scars, every drop ball, every late game collapse, every season where optimism died a little under the weight of frustration. The 0-16 nightmare still stains the memory, as vivid as that night in 2008 when we realized this team wasn't just struggling. It was broken. But we've clawed back from that abyss before. We remember Dan Orlovsky's soul-saving interception, a brief flash of light in a sea of dark. We remember the legend of Barry Sanders spinning away from defenders as if the world slowed just for him, and the heartache when Calvin Johnson hung up his cleats, taking a piece of the city's dreams with him. Jim Caldwell's firing wasn't just coaching changes, it was a purge of the past, a reset button for a franchise starving for identity, and last season's playoff push, a taste of what Detroit could be if only the stars aligned and the breaks went our way. Yet here we are, standing shoulder to shoulder in the twilight of summer practice, eyes locked on the horizon as the sun sets red over the field. The coaches shaking the foundations with a simple but seismic shift, moving practice from the cold, harsh daylight into the glowing intensity of night. It may sound small, but inside that shift lives a message. Dan Campbell, our rough-hewn leader, the guy who carries this team's pain and fire on his broad shoulders, called it a test, a chance to turn up the volume on competition where it matters most, the short yards, the goal line, the neighborhood where games are won and lost. There's an edge sharpening here, a physicality rising that hasn't been this raw since the glory days felt within reach. And make no mistake, Campbell and his coordinators aren't just running drills. They're conducting war games, pitting themselves against each other under the fading light, shaping a team that refuses to bend. Behind the scenes, the stakes are sky high. 3 players leaving practice early, injuries tightening their grip like a vice on offensive line depth. Kerryon Arnold still limping from that nagging hamstring, and another cornerback and his Rakestraw down for an indeterminate stretch. Detroit's lines are shifting and scrambling like a pack fighting tooth and nail for every inch, every snap. Watching rookies like Tyleik Williams turn the short yardage run defense into their personal proving ground, that's the kind of grit that courses through Detroit's veins, young lions ready to fight for the city's pride. Every player's statement. You can almost hear the collective growl from the sideline, the unspoken vow to crush anyone who dares stand in our way on 3rd and short. And then there's the electrical jolt from the offense. A connection fast, deep, and promising between Goff and Caleb Raymond that cut through the coverage like a lightning bolt. A rookie wide receiver named Isaac Tesla busting out of anonymity with a block so violent it paved the way for a touchdown, igniting the first-team offense like a fuse lit in the heart of the Motor City. Here's a kid who trades scouts drooled over. Tenacity in the trenches, a blocker willing to throw down with the best. And with guys like Hendon Hooker stepping into the quarterback spotlight soon, you can feel the energy humming. This is Detroit, forged in adversity, hungry for respect, clawing towards something bigger than individual moments. This is the soul of a city whose football story is etched in heartbreak and hope, now reaching for the stars with every scar earned. Detroit fans understand the gravity here. We've been here before moments that felt like turning points only to slip through our fingers. But what if this is different? What if these evening practices, this renewed physicality, and the rookie, Defenders standing tall in the trenches are the seismic shifts that could topple the NFC North Kings. What if this is our one and only shot before the window slams shut, before this generation of Lions finally claims the roar that our city deserves? The kind of roar that silences doubters, that wakes the ghosts of Detroit's greats, and echoes through the cold Detroit nights for decades to come. There's a whisper now, a tension so thick you could slice it with your helmet. Rival teams are watching us closer than ever. Insiders are leaning in, voices dropping to hushed tones when Detroit's name comes up. The smell of change is in the air, heavy and unrelenting. And as the sun dips below the Detroit skyline, turning the city's steel skeleton into a silhouette against fiery skies, one thing's clear. If this domino falls, if this gamble pays off well, you won't believe who's next. They're waiting in the shadows, poised to join the fight. This isn't just a training camp update. This is the first crack in the foundation of something enormous. And us? We're right here, bloody but unbroken, ready to roar our way into history. If your heart's pounding for Detroit, if you feel that fire starting to burn like never before, make some noise down below. This is our time, and it's just beginning. Snatch the chains. Detroit, this is our call to war, and the time has come to unleash hell in Honolulu blue. Every scar on this franchise, every tear shed in despair, is being forged into the armor of a beast waking up from a long, brutal slumber. You see, this isn't just about practice drills or summer nights under stadium lights. This is the crack in the dam, the moment where history begins to shatter its chains and scream out in defiance. Inside Allen Park, whispers echo coaches, tightening their grips, players feeling that electric charge of rebirth, a fire ignited by relentless determination and the unyielding hunger of a city starved for respect, for that roar louder than any tornado, louder than berries spinning. Escape or Calvin's impossible leaps. And think about the scars, the 0 to 16 nightmare still lingering like an open wound. The nights Dan Orlovsky took the safety to keep us from total darkness. Calvin retiring with the weight of a city's shattered hopes. Sanders walking away from. A game he made a kingdom, each one a painful reminder that what once was lost can be reclaimed. But what if, just what if, this season is the Phoenix rising all over again? The front office's gambles drafting high, flipping the roster are all part of a war plan. Linebackers, safeties, rookies, everybody learning how to fight for every yard, every inch, every heartbeat. The locker room tension. The unspoken challenge that Campbell has planted, that fierce belief that this is OUR moment. Factories are humming with restless energy, and rival teams are sensing it, fear creeping in. Trepidation as they watch a Detroit team that refuses to accept the chains of the past. They see the grit, hear the roars, and realize this isn't just a rebuild. It's a revolution. Remember the heartbreak, those gut-wrenching collapses that made us question everything. The Sundays where hopes exploded like fireworks, only for darkness to swallow the sky. But the ghosts are trembling. This time, it's different. This time, it's no longer just hope, it's a blueprint etched in sweat and steel. Written in the grit of rookies like Tyleik Williams, who turned defenders into dust in short yards. And a golf connection that's boiling over, lighting up the night with promise. The intensity is palpable. This is what they're building in Allen Park, a fortress ready to shake the NFC to its core. And look, with Hendon Hooker waiting in the wings, with DLS leaning into every snap, with rookies refusing to back down, something's brewing that can't be contained. Imagine the moment, 1 yard, 1 play, a city on its knees holding its breath. Will Detroit finally break through? Will this be the season history remembers? Or does the silence that looms after every hard hit foretell more heartbreak, more disappointment, more scars that will carry deep into the winter of our doubts? The stakes have never been higher, the stage set with blood, sweat, and tears. The whispers say the NFC North fears Detroit's awakening, that the teams beneath us are trembling because they know something's different this year. They sense the shift. Detroit's heart is pounding louder than ever, pounding like the drum of 1,000 fans echoing through every alleyway and neighborhood, calling us all to keep believing. But what if those fears are right? What if, in the next few moments, all the hope we're feeling blossoms into something unstoppable, something roar-worthy, history-defining, before the dawn of a new era comes crashing down or soaring sky-high? The stadium silence is deafening, every fan holding their breath from the coldest streets of Detroit to every living room across Michigan. This is where futures are forged, where the ground trembles, and where legends are born or buried forever. So I ask you, are we just spectators waiting for the fall of an empire? Will this be the season we write our comeback story, or will it slip away, gone in a blink, leaving us haunted once again by what could have been?